There is a machine so powerful it can carry an entire air force across the ocean. A machine that does not need land, does not depend on borders, and does not wait for permission. It moves silently through the vast emptiness of the sea, carrying with it not just aircraft, but strategy, strength, and control. It is a floating world where thousands of people live and work together, where every second is planned and every movement matters. In a place where there is no land in sight, this machine creates its own runway, its own defense, and its own presence. It is not just engineering, it is a symbol of how far human capability has evolved. And once it arrives, everything around it changes. Not on land, not in the sky, but floating on water. This is not just a ship. This is an aircraft carrier. At first glance, it looks like a massive floating structure, but look closer. This is a mobile military base, a city, a runway, and a weapon all in one. An aircraft carrier can stretch over 300 meters long, longer than 3 football fields. And yet it moves through the ocean with precision, carrying thousands of people. Pilots, engineers, crew members, all living and working together in the middle of nowhere. But the most incredible part is what happens on its deck. Fighter jets launching from a moving platform at sea. To take off, jets don't have a long runway like on land. Instead, they rely on a system called a catapult. It accelerates the aircraft from 0 to takeoff speed in just seconds. From still to airborne in less than the blink of an eye. And landing is even harder. Pilots must land precisely on a narrow moving runway using arresting wires to stop the aircraft instantly. One small mistake can be dangerous. If you are liking this kind of video, do like, share, and subscribe. But an aircraft carrier is not just about planes. It is about power, because wherever it goes, it brings military strength with it. It does not need permission to use land bases. It creates its own in the middle of the ocean. That is why countries invest billions to build these giants, because one aircraft carrier can change the balance of power. But how does something so massive stay afloat? The answer is simple. Displacement. The ship pushes water down and the water pushes it up. Even with thousands of tons of weight, it floats. And many modern carriers are powered by nuclear reactors, which means they can operate for years without refueling. A floating city that never needs to stop. Inside the carrier there are living quarters, food supplies, hospitals, and control rooms. Everything needed to sustain life at sea. It is not just a ship. It is a self-contained world. But with all this power comes responsibility, because aircraft carriers are not just symbols of strength. They are tools of strategy used to project power, protect interests, and respond to threats. And in times of war, they become the center of action, surrounded by destroyers, submarines, and defense systems, forming what is called a carrier strike group, a moving fortress hidden in plain sight. But here is something even more fascinating. Despite their size, aircraft carriers are constantly moving, because staying still makes them vulnerable. So they sail silently across oceans, always ready, always prepared. So the next time you see one, remember, you are not looking at just a ship. You are looking at a floating airbase, a mobile city, a symbol of power, and one of the most complex machines ever created by humans. Because in the vast emptiness of the ocean, this giant stands ready, waiting, watching, and capable of changing the course of history.